Hello everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D campaign number 1, Under Locks and Keys. When we last left off, the party formed an alliance with the elusive first mate and head engineer of Plundan, Nytro the Atlantean. Investigating into his reasons for being so difficult to find and evasive to his actions, you discovered that Nytro is planning his own mutiny against the captain, disagreeing with his willingness to abduct fighters to use for his own nefarious ends. The Spear of Ares is indeed, as far as you guys are concerned, a worthless hunk of metal. The real prize is Apollo's wreath that sits on the head of the captain, which he has been using to charm the fighters you beat into service to the captain. To what end, Nytro doesn't know. But Nytro cannot act publicly against the captain in good conscience until his brother, the true previous champion of Plundan and one of the first victims of Imamu Merrick's reign of terror. Paul, thanks to his magic, has been able to narrow down the location of the first mate's brother to a place beneath Arena 1. Somewhere where even the first mate doesn't know how to access. However, on going there to investigate further, the party finds themselves at a standoff with Timatwa, the champion of Plundan.
I didn't think we got to that point yet. I think we just noticed he was there.
Well, yeah, but I mean, with his opinions on things, it doesn't take a
No,
genius.
actually, Avaben wasn't. Whenever he saw who they were facing, realized there's something he needed to do.
Okay. In that case, the rest of the party finds themselves in a standoff. And that is where we will pick back up.
So, how much time is there until the fights happen?
At this point, it's about mid-afternoon, so the fights will likely be beginning in about 6 hours.
Okay. Because if I remember right, we're facing the swarm storm, right?
Yes.
That the kid with the bug powers.
Yeah, and Brother Ares is fighter.
Yeah. Knowing what happens to people that loses to them, it seems. He wants to try and find one of the people he remembers from that meeting that he had.
Okay. In that case, we'll cut to you in just a moment. But for now, we pick back up in Arena 1. As you all cross the threshold of the arena doors, there is a small crowd gathered, but for the most part, things are much quieter than they typically are in the arenas. All the better for your investigative ends. However, what few scattered folk are in the stands, and of course, on the opposite arena door, a crowd of adoring fans cheers. As you can see, there do not appear to be any other fighters in the arena, aside from Timatwa. The Dark Elf has his back to you, completely shirtless, just simply wearing kind of studded leather pants and boots, and with a shield on one arm and the Spear of Ares in the other, is posing and flexing for the crowd with his back to you. And everyone cheers wildly. However, the cheering seems to get perceptibly louder as all of you take to the arena. Although, if Timatwa notices the rise in volume, he seems to assume it's dedicated purely to him. Okay.
I guess since Avamon's not here, time for some method acting.
All right. Paul, as you begin to cast your spell, you notice that Avaben kind of glances to the champion and then slips back out the door and disappears into the depths of Plundan, leaving you in Arena 1 with Asari, Greylog, and the twins. As you start casting Locate Object, Asari, Greylog, what are the two of you doing? Remember, one of you at a time.
So Greylock is wanting to talk to the whole group. So after Paul's done trying to locate what he's locating, Nytro's supposed to take everyone aside to have an idea, a discussion about what to do with the storm swarm.
All right, we'll get to that after the location is finished. Asari?
I don't really think there's much for me to do. I'll just hang out and keep an eye out.
All right. Asari, you watch kind of nervously as Avaben slips away from the group. Greylog, you observe and wait for Paul to be finished with his investigation before you discuss a plan with the group. And Paul, with a wave of the hands as they begin to glow lightly, you cast Locate Object on the Atlantean blade belonging to the brother of Nytro. Also, welcome, Flower and Fall. Are you good to monitor stream audio?
Yeah.
Thank you. Also, you literally haven't missed anything. I actually had just now finished the recap. Avaben has slipped away because he has some personal business he wishes to conduct. So it's you, Asari, Greylog, and Paul in Arena 1. Paul is currently tracking down the source of the signal you've been following. The Tamatwa, the champion, is just posing and flexing with his back to you, currently wielding the Spear of Ares for an adoring crowd, although the crowd seems to be a little bit more taken with all of you now than him. Asari is just kind of keeping an eye on things to make sure things don't escalate. Greylog is waiting for the investigation to conclude before proposing something. Paul's doing some tracking. Avaben has slipped away. What would you like to do?
I guess just help Asari try to make sure nobody goes too fast and wild.
All right. The two of you hover near Asari cautiously as Paul steps forward. And Paul, as you cast Locate Object, the signal is definitely closer now. If I recall correctly, just to make sure I'm remembering the spell right, it doesn't tell you the exact location, it just tells you its direction and relative proximity. Okay. It is current. Okay. The sword is not moving. However, the signal is pointing you sort of diagonally downwards and forward towards the center of the arena. All right. You all watch as Paul steps forward, and Paul, the signal starts to go further down. Not moving, just like your relative proximity to it. Further down, further down, further down, until you're standing right behind the Dark Elf champion. And at this point, it's still a very slightly bit diagonally, but almost directly down now. It appears the champion is standing directly over wherever the signal's coming from, although it does not appear to be coming from him himself. Well, you don't know this yet. You just see Paul walking around.
Okay. I guess look at the girls and be like, should we follow him?
Probably would be a good idea.
Alright, I will follow him.
Alright, Greylog, are you going to do the same?
Yes. He wants to make sure that the champion doesn't get any sneaky ideas.
Alright. As you all make your way forward, you follow behind Paul, and Paul, you see that the signal, at the moment, unless the champion moves from his current position, this is the closest you're going to get to being directly over wherever the signal's coming from. And as you get close to him and all of you approach, the champion seems to start to notice that the crowd is paying less and less attention to him, and whips around in a flurry of hair and skin to see you all standing behind him. Although to his credit, he doesn't seem startled in the least. He just slams the spear base against the ground, and kind of raises an eyebrow to all of you as he kind of rakes his eyes over your heads before speaking. I thought I told you little wieners that you weren't welcome here while I was training.
Asari is just gonna start laughing.
You're better as a horse.
Asari laughs harder.
You can see a vein start to kind of pop in his head, and his teeth grit into a scowl, and he lowers the spear to be directly level with your chest. And we gonna have a problem, Scales?
Asari just kind of wipes a tear from her eye, just looks at him, just like she doesn't even flinch or anything, like just raises the, like just kind of like smirks, like
Your mic's breaking up.
oh, sorry. She said, "Do you
Still breaking up. You guys might be driving through a rough spot. While you guys get out of it, Paul, Flower and Fall, anything?
hello?"
So, what'd you see?
So,
Yes.
did you hear what I said?
Nope.
Okay, so, she just kind of like wipes a tear off of her and just like, you really think that's a good idea?
Something funny? I didn't think I was training for a comedy routine.
Maybe you should have. I mean, classic. You want to get this off of me, please?
Oh, right away, miss. As soon as you get the fuck off my grounds.
Okay, first of all, this isn't your ground. I don't see your name written here on it.
Oh? And he, with a twirl of the spear, Flower and Fall, you find yourself having to dodge a few awry splinters. And you see that with a blurred flurry, he has somewhat elegantly carved Tematwa into the ground.
I'm gonna take my staff and I'm gonna cross it out and just write tomato.
Your staff, your blunt object?
Yes.
How?
You said it's gravel, right?
Ooh,
It's wood.
Oh, sorry, I'm stupid.
she's not losing it tonight.
My brain is just like question mark.
And Paul, what do you say anything in response to the twins? You saying I'm not much suit? I don't see anyone else here wearing a monkey suit. Well, you could take care of your different matter in a different arena.
Good.
Well, then it appears we're having a good old-fashioned Midgardian standoff. And he twirls the spear and lets it lounge over his shoulder, and you can see the crowd getting really excited. And he kind of leans over you, Paul, and... You have such a problem with me being here? Why don't you make me move, monkey suit? He kind of gives you a bit of a smirk and glances to Asari out of the corner of his eye. See here? Mr. Paul seems to get how you're supposed to treat your superiors. The monkey suit's a good look on you, human. And with that, he kind of...
He let you think you are.
I think I'm Tamatwa, champion of Plundan, for 100 years
But
running.
I think you're tomato right in the face.
Oh, well, if you don't think I'm deserving of the championship title, Doctor, why don't you try and take it from me? And he holds out the spear to you.
I just kind of close the gap between us. Just look him in his eye, just smile and says, "Oh, I plan on it."
Better.
If you're wanting to do something on my turf, you're gonna need my permission. You also might want to control your girlfriend. She's got a doctorate in archaeology, but doesn't seem to have one in common sense. Or manners, for that matter.
Fine.
I can barely hear Austin.
Not a whole heck of a lot gets in my way. And he flexes and the crowd cheers.
I roll my eyes.
All right. And Paul, make me a persuasion check.
Ooh.
He considers for a moment before kind of turning on his heel and flexing more for the crowd. And after he gets a bit more cheers to feed his ego, he kind of speaks over his shoulder to you. Do whatever investigating you feel like. And if you change your mind and want an autograph, he gives a flex and the crowd cheers. You know who to call. But I'll be keeping my eye on you, monkey suit.
You missed it when you said you know who to call. Jeremy and I literally went, Ghostbusters!
Best not be getting up to any funny business, you and your funny friends.
Only funny thing I see is your face.
Oh, seems her jokes are about as good as her fighting skills.
You see, you do all this flexing and showboating. I don't need to do that shit, darling. I will let my actions speak for me.
Oh, well, if you're such a damn good fighter, why don't you prove it? Right here, right now.
Not against the rules. Do you?
Oh, what?
Isn't that like against the rules?
It's one of those things that, like, it's if you get discovered doing it, you definitely are going to be in trouble. But it's not necessarily explicitly against the rules.
Okay, we'll just kind of. I'll say, make the first hit, and maybe I will.
He kind of considers for a moment, kind of looking at the crowd to gauge if they really want to see a fight between the two of you. And I will say, sorry, just for my reference, so I know what kind of role to ask of you. Do you want him to attack you?
Do I, Amanda, want him to attack me? No. But is Asari standing her ground? Yes.
Yeah, like, does Asari want him to fight you?
I mean, she said take the first hit as a I will defend myself if you decide to, like, start shit.
Sorry about
So
that.
he-
I had to help get
So,
dinner
like, if
sorted.
he decides, hey,
No worries.
I want to fight her and I want to hit her, I will retaliate.
All right, make a persuasion check.
What the fuck's going on?
She's picking a fight with the champion.
I mean, given we learned he's not actually the champion.
Yes, but he certainly seems to believe it.
He's probably under the influence of the free.
I don't think I'm done method acting.
All right, and how'd you do on persuasion, Amanda?
16?
He kind of considers for a minute. The crowd seems interested, and he kind of cracks his neck and just, all right, little girl, I'll go easy on you.
Dang.
Great, if he makes the first move, because I certainly am not.
He is going to declare a feud with you,
Ooh,
which gives him advantage on attacks against you.
okay.
Does a... Hang on, I need to do some quick math.
Really shitty AC, though. Probably.
Does a 25 hit?
Yeah, definitely is.
He is going to use, what was the name of that ability? He is going to use Slobber Knocker to turn the next hit into a crit. And does a 15 hit.
Yep, just barely, though.
All right. He is going for a non-lethal strike. So even if this knocks you out, you will not go down outright. Or rather, you will go down, but you won't die.
Reload on standby with assignments.
From the first attack, you take 25 piercing damage.
Okay.
Nope. 7,
Not worried about that crit.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20. From the second attack, you take 24 piercing damage.
Okay.
And from the critical strike,
Oh boy. I'm not looking so good.
you take 28 piercing damage.
Down.
Paul, you watch as, or rather all of you, watch as Asari's standing there all brave and bold and confident. Tamatwa gives his claim that he's going to go easy on her. Whack, 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 and she goes down. Asari hits the ground like a sack of bricks. You are stable but unconscious.
Oof.
The crowd gives an uproarious cheer, which he opens up his arms and soaks it in. And he kind of lightly pokes Asari with the base of his spear, almost checking if she's even alive. And once he confirms that she is, he gives a grin and looks to the rest of you that are still in the arena. The rest of us gonna have a problem?
Nah, she just talked too much smack. It's fine.
The rest of you know how the game works. Go ahead and do your investigating. I got a crowd to please. And with that, he goes back to flexing, posing with Asari's unconscious body to the delight of the crowd.
Just takes a selfie with their unconscious body.
I mean, basically, yeah. You get the impression that if this was taking place in the modern era, he absolutely would be like
Oh,
posting
wait, I thought this
screenshots
was
to
modern
Twitter.
D&D rules.
It's D20 modern, but at the very least, he doesn't seem to have a phone.
I will be taking Asari's unconscious body away from him.
All right. After he's posed with Asari for a moment, Greylog, you drag her away. And Paul, you lean down and revive the archaeologist. Asari, the last thing you remember was, I'll go easy on you. And the next thing you know, you are waking up on the floor and incredibly sore with a splitting headache.
I'm fine. I just.
How much health does Asari have?
He was annoying me. I total 55. She's a sorcerer, not a fighter.
Yeah, that's like 10 more than a Vaven has.
He was just annoying me, and I just don't like it when people try to welcome you like a welcome mat.
Huh? At least we got an idea of what he's capable of now. Even if it was a first miss.
He could certainly get at least one big hitting attack. I don't know how much of that is repeatable.
I think you
Oh,
were
he
just
wasn't
observing
saying
it out of
anything.
character, yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't Nytro like standing right there?
Yeah.
He just like looks over at Nytro. How you
He kind of raises an eyebrow and just, in my defense, lass, you started it.
Yeah, you
Also, they're
can't
technically
provoke
against the
not
rules.
retaliate.
I would have finished it had I just let him take the first hit.
Sure you would have, lass. And he kind of pats you on
I'm
the
just
shoulder.
I'm gonna just stand up and dust myself off and yeah. Look over to Paul. So, your magic tell you anything yet?
Aye.
I know this is gonna probably be a little obvious, but have you checked for secret door?
Aye.
I've been, isn't it like your thing? Oh yeah, he's not here. Fuck.
I like to imagine Asari just now noticed that Avaben
Yeah,
wasn't
she
there.
like, I've been, he's not
And
here.
it's just like where Ivaben was just like an outline.
I'll look at Grillo. Greg, can you maybe check for trap doors? Secret doors?
Like a door.
Maybe. I don't know.
How good are you guys?
I wonder.
Hang on, I'll look.
Pure exacerbation incarnate.
Mentally, he's thinking, I'm on a reform path right now.
I'm already bored. You want me to do?
What? I don't even know what they're saying. I can barely hear them.
Well, yeah, that's why whenever they talk in character, we have them go one at a time. Speaking of, Greylog, you said that once Paul had done locate object to get a grip on the location, you said you had something you wanted to say to the group?
Yes. So, I was looking at who we're going up against next, and we're going up against Swarm Storm. Now, I don't want to beat a defenseless little kid, even if he isn't defenseless. But I had a thought. What if, instead of beating him, we just put on a good show between both groups, which is what this whole thing is for, and then call a draw once the crowd is entertained.
I mean, how do you draw the line? I mean, are we just dueling? Are we just kind of like, oh, you hit, I hit, but like not with the intent to kill? I guess.
Just flashy things that'll wow the audience.
But not like kill the kid.
Exactly.
Lol.
Yeah, I wasn't about to murder a child.
That will,
I think that we can still battle him without killing him. As long as, like, we're not lethal.
we don't. Sorry, you're missing the point. We don't have to even hit him. Well,
Sorry,
she was trying to say that we don't have to kill him, and it's like we don't even have to hit.
Austin, are you good, man?
Pretty much, all we have to do is put on a show, and yes, technically, the captain's going based off of who we defeat. But if it is a draw, there is no winner and no loser. Therefore, if one of the other major league teams does not perform well enough, it could easily be one of them.
It's entirely sure that's how it works.
Does Nytro hear all this, or is he
Yeah,
gone?
Yeah, Nitro's in the area. I just try not to have NPCs talk over players.
I gotcha.
Nytro kind of has his arms crossed and is kind of watching the champion and the crowd cautiously. It's not a terrible idea. Either way, we're sentencing someone to the captain's graces, but if you're fond of the kid, then we can try and keep him out of it. He kind of pauses and We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, lad. For now... Are you proposing what I think you're proposing, lad? Lose on purpose and use yourselves
This makes
as
me
bait.
feel like. This makes me feel like I should have. Even should have said something before he left. Even if this has all been a concern.
Someday we'll learn not to split the party, but it's not today.
Or at the very least, talk with the others about what we're doing. I've even kind of figured though that they wouldn't like his idea because it involves telling something to people. He's gonna try to say as little as he can.
He kind of glances to you, Paul, and it's not a terrible idea, but it's dangerous. You get one shot, and I've seen the Captain in a fight. He's no slouch. He was trained by monks to be one of the best fighters in the world. Aye. Your plan's sound. Dangerous, but sound. And with the Captain out of the way, not exactly have to worry about the tournament anymore. Although that does leave the matter of the Brethren of the Coast.
For a thought, if we do have this other fight, that the next tournament's tonight, whoever loses, the captain will be distracted. Right? We just set up an ambush. We know where it'll be.
At this, he kind of hesitates, and the captain, and he kind of gestures to the arena around you. There's not exactly a lot of places to hide, and he's perceptive. If you get caught, the jig's up.
And if Evan was here, he'd point out that if any of these plans don't go right, the jig is up. Which is why they're terrible plans. They need everything to go right for us and just one thing to go right for the other people.
Then there's only one other idea I've had, and I don't know how well it would work. Do you know where the captain keeps the wreath, but he's not wearing it for the tournament? Maybe we could have Ivan steal it for the night.
Nytro sadly shakes his head, and I'm allowed in the captain's quarters, of course, but I can't say whether he ever fully removes it from his person or not. And even if he did, I can't say to where he puts it. But the captain's not a fool. I doubt he's fool enough to let an artifact of a god lie around unprotected. It wouldn't surprise me if he never takes the thing off.
times I see the captain outside of the tournament, if he's wearing it or not.
Make a history check.
And is having to roll for me.
Said history check.
Yeah.
Boy, you have a -1 to your history.
Yeah, he's not very good at it.
Hang on, D&D Beyond's being a dick. Okay, so with a -1 modifier, that would be an 8.
You're not exactly close with the captain. You don't recall.
Is it possible to have a negative number as your result? Like if you...
Yeah.
Like if you had like a -3 and you rolled a 2, you'd have a -1?
Yeah, I also remember in that campaign we did, somebody rolled, like, what was it, like a -3 persuasion? I know it was a negative something. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's definitely possible. All right. You all mull over the proposed plans. You could lie in wait in the arena in the night to ambush the captain whenever he comes to brainwash the next batch of losers. You could lose on purpose, take advantage of Paul being immune to being charmed, and get a leg up over him that way. Or you can make an attempt to steal the artifact and remove his control over the fighters entirely. And we will come back to all of you in a moment.
My turn?
Yep. Avaben. As you slip away from the group, seeing Tamatwa, memory returns that you have a plan of your own, and you intend to enact
seeing
it.
who they were going to fight on the list.
Seeing that you intend to fight the Storm, you make your way away from the party and head deeper into Plundan.
Basically trying to find any of the people that he remembers from that meeting with Ares. This is the first one of them he finds.
Make an investigation check.
Because he knows he's part of their crew. Okay, what was the check?
Investigation.
15.
You head deeper into Plundan and begin to search. You check the bars, you check the festival grounds, you even check some of the arenas, and you're having a hard time tracking down any of the crew members. And given that you know Captain Merrick is not above targeting the members of the Brethren, you begin to get a little nervous, especially as you realize as you search, rumors are beginning to circulate. You hear whispers of it as you search for the Ares crew. A member of the Brethren has disappeared.
Oh, shit.
Your search begins to get a little more intense, determined to find any sign that the Ares crew did not join the Scorpios, that Captain Merrick does not now have complete control over the Brethren of the Coast. And just as you get somewhat despondent and begin to return to Arena 1, you see the party, as you return to Arena 1, is currently engaged in a hushed conversation with each other. But as you see that, your gaze flicks and you see in the crowd of people cheering for the Dark Elf, a familiar pair of heads. One bright and blonde, the other dark and black.
Raven's just like, the two I was hoping not to have to deal with. But I don't think I can sit quite right letting that kid get grabbed by those people. I hope I'm not making a huge mistake. And I guess he'll try to make his way through the crowd, hoping that maybe he'll spot one of the other crew members on his way.
Mm-hmm. And as you make your way along, you sadly do not. However, as you climb up into the stands and start making your way closer, while you don't notice any other crew members, sadly, which does strike you as somewhat odd, you do notice that the boy with black hair is kind of giving a hushed whisper to the blonde boy, who is just staring at Tamatwa with wide eyes, as if he's licking up every detail he can of the man's muscular physique.
Raven will just kind of sit like in kind of like a row behind. Mostly just watching his whatever. Then he, I guess, just acting like he's scoping out the competition, basically.
All right. You stop and just observe for a bit, a row behind. The two not appearing to give you significant notice, but likely assuming that you're just another fan. And you note with some amusement, and now that you're closer, from what little you can pick up of their whispered snippets beneath the screaming of the crowd, it sounds like the boy in black hair is complaining about the blonde one, seemingly completely ignoring him in favor of paying attention to the Dark Elf. And as Tamachwa gives a flex and a twirl of the spear, the blonde boy gives a wolf whistle between two fingers and claps his hands excitedly.
Man, this is pretty funny, honestly. But I guess, like, after a moment, he'll just be like, "Aren't you two the kids from that meeting I was in back in what was the city called?"
Tortage.
Back in Tortage.
You can see the two of them jolt. The boy in black kind of whips around and see it with his wide eyes. You can see he looks frightened.
Hey, easy.
The blonde boy kind of looks over his shoulder. You can see him just take in who you are and that you're the one he's speaking to. You could see he's looking at you, but his eyes keep wandering like he wants to turn back around. And he seems almost despondent that he can't gaze at the muscular fighter and hold a conversation with him at the same time.
He is really obsessed about this. Look,
But
I just needed you to pass something along to the captain. If I believe the Storm is his fighter. If the kid with the bugs, if you don't know.
Yeah, he's a friend of ours.
So, I want you to tell your captain or father or whatever he is to you, if he is to be eliminated, that one of your crew should be the ones to collect him, not one of Plundan's crew. I don't know if your father will probably have known about the rumors going around, and I would hate to see something bad happen to him. He kind of helped us out at one point.
Yeah, we know about the rumors, and they're more than just that. And he kind of looks around, and the boy in black hair leans forward. Brother
Can
Scorpio.
you repeat that? I accidentally I was lowering my leg and it caught my headphone cord and pulled the plug out.
No, he was just saying, yeah, we've heard the rumors and they're more than just that. The boy in black hair leans forward and... Brother Scorpio, Wraith Blackheart, he didn't come back. He didn't come to the next meeting after the fight was over. Everyone's in an uproar. We've heard rumors that fighters go missing, but it's never been one of our own.
Yeah, and like I said, that little vampire thing, he was a big help with that, so I thought it's only fair that I help him out. And so I ask that you pass that message along, and I can't go into complete details about it, but I assure him more details will come soon.
Aye, aye.
All of them. Sorry to give you a scare.
It's fine, just, look, don't tell anyone, but we're not supposed to be here.
Oh, you snuck out, huh?
You can see he gives a scowl to the blonde boy, who just gives him a smile in return. That demure, like, what did I do kind of smile. And the boy in black speaks, staring at the blonde boy pointedly. We were given direct orders that nobody's to come back into Plundan alone. Not until we figure out what happened to Blackheart. But some of us couldn't resist temptation. Temptation is certainly a good word for it. And you can see his eyes wander again.
Yeah, he's a lot to look at, but there's very little substance. Trust me, I've interacted with him.
You can see the blonde boy gives something of a smirk, and the boy in black hair kind of rolls his eyes and physically grabs him by the scalp and cranks his head around to look back at you. And thank you for the morning, Mr. I didn't get your name.
Just call me Avaben.
Thank you, Mr. Vaben. We'll be careful. We'll be going back to the ship just after all this is finished up. And he gestures to the cheer as the crowd gives another cheer for Tamacha's flexing.
Yeah, just the only other thing I'll say is whenever you do, if you have to, obviously, no, can't count the kid out, but if it comes to it and someone has to collect him, it would be best if they avoided the Captain of Plundan.
At this, you can actually see both are now interested. And
Like I said, I think more details will come up, but that's all I can say. And
do you
it
think
would be
the
best
captain
if
is
he.
in on it?
I think it'd be best to maybe mention that I say don't do anything extra. Just a suggestion. I wouldn't dare try to order one of the brethren around.
The blonde boy kind of waves you off dismissively, but gives you a very light, seemingly somewhat rehearsed bow. And I'll keep my nose out of trouble, promise.
You've done this a lot, haven't you?
I don't know what you mean. And he turns to look away from you.
That maybe we'll. How are the stands like really high up from there? Could you just hop the rail? Basically?
It's a little bit of a drop, but yeah, you could hop it reasonably.
Yeah, maybe we'll hop down to go see what his party's dealing with.
All right. Flower and Fall, as the party all discusses potential ideas, you see a Vaben hop down out of the stands and rejoin the party.
Now, if any of you were concerned about the fact that we are fighting a kid and what may happen if he loses, I'm going to be direct and honest with you. Nitro's still here too, right?
Yeah, everybody that was here before is still here.
I just passed the word along to one of the Ares crew that if the Swarmstorm loses, one of them should try to collect him and avoid the captain. Instead of Well, usually you walk off with them, right, Nitro? Or...
If they lose, it's typically the captain that does it. I take them back to the locker room once the tourney round is over, but aye. Good man. And he pats you on the shoulder. Hopefully the captain won't think much of it.
Hopefully they send someone that the captain decides not to want to deal with.
We can only hope. And he nods
But
to the
it does
party.
seem to... I can also confirm while I was searching for these crew members, it seems that Brother Scorpio has disappeared.
Yes?
My prayers be with him. And he does a symbol over his chest and kind of bites at his fingernails cautiously and looks over the gathered party. So what now? And he looks to you, Paul. You said he's right below us, right? So what do I need to get an axe and start chopping through the floor?
If you like, I can turn into a bug or something and investigate. Actually, I think Greg would be really good at that. Are you able to use your magic, Greg?
I can. I will if it is asked.
All right. While you are, I presume, wild shaping?
Correct.
All
It
right.
would turn into, let me think. I can get through wood pretty easily. And then there's an ant. I'll turn into an ant.
Okay. While that's happening, Paul, Flower and Fall, what are the two of you doing?
How well constructed are the floorboards? Like, how close together are they?
They're fairly close. You can see there's a few small, nicks and holes here and there, but for the most part, they're in fairly good condition.
Dang.
I would put their integrity at a 75%. And it appears Paul is not available, so... Nope. Oh, you were muted.
Yeah. I mean, I'd just be careful. I mean, as I mentioned, the source seems to be somewhat right under our dear friend that just you know, sort of took out you. Sorry.
True.
Sorry, never learned.
I have a doctorate degree that says otherwise.
But that's beside the point. Just more or less, I mean, we can
Sorry,
try to...
never learned work patterns.
Ow!
But,
You're gonna get a good smacking.
Not while I'm driving. Or wild shapes.
yeah.
Remember, you're an ant. We shoot.
So basically, by the sounds of it, we plan on... Are we planning on continuing this farce of the tricking the captain to thinking we don't know a thing?
I don't understand the question.
More or less, what is our next plan of action? I mean, we talked a couple of plans, we never solidified on one. By the sounds of it, I have been made sure to get some contacts to make sure the boy is safe, even if they do lose. So
That's good. actually think you're right, Paul. I mean, you are immune, correct?
What?
You're immune to being charmed, is that right?
Well, that's what my magic did before, but can't guarantee now.
Well, then I say we lose. It's easier than just not trying to kill the poor kid. And, I mean...
Also, if you think the sooner we end this, the less power the captain can collect.
That's true.
So I say we forfeit.
Forfeit or lose, because it's a two vastly different things.
I mean, is there?
Not really.
We
The
forfeit.
intent is to not win.
I mean, you forfeit by saying, white handkerchief, I give up, and then there's losing to a fight.
Okay, so we'll put you on a pole. We'll be fine.
Probably.
I'm not really sure what the understanding here. I mean, if we forfeit, it just seems like a lot easier.
Okay, sorry about that.
No worries.
The DoorDash order was fucked up again.
Welcome to DoorDash.
Our powers for when we go up against the captain.
Yeah, alright. I mean, I'm fucking exhausted. It's not like I can fight right now.
Well, that's why you have time to sleep.
What happened while I was away?
The party's just been banding what plan they want to go with, and right now the party seems settled on whenever you go out to fight the Swarm Storm, just surrender. Which means A, he'll be safe, and B, you guys will be at full strength when the captain tries to make a grab for you.
Sounds like I'm gonna go take a grab at the captain.
Basically, you're taking a dive so that you can get to the captain quickly, because Asari did make a legitimately fair point that if you wait too long, he's going to have an army of the entire previous roster at his beck and call, whereas right now, he only has 5 rounds worth of fighters and whoever is currently buried under the arena.
Well, if that
Okay.
person can get
So-
out.
Avaven's going to point out,
Mm-hmm.
but if we wait and do Nitro's plan, which involved getting, the other pirates involved, we would have a far bigger army that would want him gone.
Unless he takes control of them as well.
Yeah, I mean,
We don't know exactly what all this breathing can do. And how wide a
But you
range-
see, and the other problem is, this sets up a situation where we have to get lucky on every opportunity. He only needs to get lucky once.
I mean, but luck on what opportunity?
We, A, not getting mind controlled, which Paul might be able to manage. But then, I'm sure that the captain didn't get his position by being terrible at dealing with conflict. So then we also have to get lucky on Paul not being instantly defeated before he can do something. Then we also have to get lucky on that all of us together can defeat him. And if any of those individual points does not go in our favor, we fail completely.
Mm.
But if we wait, the risk of failure is still there. Nothing changes.
Yes, but we'll have help from the fact that we'll have more allies, because most of the crews seem to be intent on staying off of Plundan right now. He won't have an opportunity to get at them until they're ready to get at him.
well, Flower, Paul, what do you think?
Yep.
The twins are silent. Anyone else?
Did you not? Did nobody hear what I said?
Well, yeah, we heard it. Just there might be somebody in the room right now.
Yeah, Flower Fall didn't hear, or he didn't hear, or can't answer at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I say we go for it. If you're too scared of it, then sit it out and hide. And if we lose, you're still available as a last resort.
And Vaben's gonna look to Nytro. Yeah, that's right. Nytro, and he's gonna say, have you voiced your opinion of this plan?
He kind of sighs a bit and kind of having his arms crossed nervously. He nods to Paul. I think it's certainly a valid option, but you're not wrong that it is a risky one. But he kind of runs a hand through his hair and thinks for a long moment. And if I thought my plan was perfect, well, I'll be frank, if my plan was perfect, you wouldn't have known what I was doing until it was too late. My original plan was just to string the lot of you along from the shadows, let you suspect me, but be too uncertain to act until I was sure I could trust you. And he looks over all of you slowly, one by one. The captain is a master in combat. I will grant you that. But, and he sighs and looks to you, Vaben. Your plan is far from perfect either. Yours doesn't eliminate the risk, and rather than counting on the captain failing, you're counting on something just as finicky. That if the pirates realize that there's a threat to them, they'll fight rather than run. They've already taken one of the 13. If he starts taking more, or if the Brethren starts to think that Plundan isn't safe anymore, we may be a democracy in Nassau, but there's not going to be enough. Most of them would rather turn tail and run, I think, than try and fight it out, especially if they think there's someone who's a threat to them aboard.
Nytro, I had a thought.
Aye?
The captain, other than the wreath, does he have magic at all?
If he does, I've never seen him do it.
Well, I had a crazy idea. But what if I was to cast polymorph on him so he can't fight us? Turn him into something that can't fight.
What, turn him into something else?
Exactly. We just overpower him that way.
Put him in a jar or something.
Exactly.
I love it.
But what's
And if your little work of spellcraft fails,
then we just fight him. But it's worth a try. You'll be completely caught off guard if the idea works.
he kind of gives a shrug, and either way, bring out the big guns, whatever it is you're planning to do. The captain's no slouch. I don't know exactly what he's been doing all these years, but whatever he's been doing, he's lived twice as long as any member of his kind is meant to. I don't know if it's magic or just a simple, unyielding determination not to die.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot about, like, people are really a little put off almost about, like, how old he is.
It's not unheard of for his kind to live for quite a while, but it's been too long. Whenever I ask him about it, he just says that the monks taught him how to maintain his body perfectly and live for a good long while, and supposedly he is getting old, but his body's not showing it. He'll die someday, but I'm not exactly looking to wait around. And he looks to you, Paul. If you can get my brother out of whatever coffin the captain's got him in, I'll be with you, no matter what you decide to do. I've been waiting for too long to get my revenge on that piece of filth.
Surely there's someone in the Brethren who can convince the others if it's necessary.
He kind of sighs, and only one with the power to do that is the king, and he's disinclined to listen to much of anyone.
And then, Joseph, even if they convince the Brethren, that doesn't mean that the Brethren's troops, all that, will listen to them. It's survival.
Well,
And no matter which plan we go with, there's a risk of the Brethren being turned against us. The captain might convince them that it's better to side with him than with us, or if they don't listen to reason, they might listen to force. Whether they realize it or not, the Brethren, the captain has the Brethren by the balls. Their ships are docked here in Plundan. The captain just needs to give one order, and the captains are stranded here without their ships, and possibly even half their crew left behind.
But from what I understand, most of them are already on their ships anyways.
But that means if they make a go for the captain with us, their ships will be abandoned, and if they leave crew behind to protect them, that leaves the crew in danger. There's no perfect plan, it's just a matter of what risks we're willing to take and which ones we're not.
I guess it more boils down to, are we going to fight the boy or not?
He looks to all of you and...
What do you think, Nytro? You got any gut feelings?
He kind of smirks and... Honestly, gut instinct, I want to find my brother and get the hell off of this ship. But... following my heart... He sighs and looks over all of you. When I first saw you come aboard, making a claim to fame and getting the captain to sponsor you, I didn't get it at first until I started seeing you in the fights. And he sighs, and all of you realize that for how just deep Nitro's falsehoods and sabotage has gone, always claiming that he could never stay and watch the fights and being careful to reveal any information, but he has not taken his eyes off of you the entire time you've been on this ship. All these other fighters, they answer to the Brethren or to wherever the dollar goes. You're the only people on this ship that I think can do it. The only people in this fleet that I think could do it. And he looks to you, Paul, and one by one over the rest of you. What you're proposing is risky. You're putting yourselves in danger to protect a child you barely know, to protect an army of, well, not good people, but people that would likely never know any better and never so much as thank you more than stab you in the back. And you're willing to put yourselves in danger to protect us. My brother always told me that it's never a lost cause as long as there's a few fools willing to fight it. So, if I swallow my gut and follow my heart, I think you can do it. And the captain's going to throw everything he has at ye. And He sighs and kind of thinks for a moment, and I just may be able to help ye.
How is that?
Convincing the brethren to fight is going to be tough. But, he gives a smile, we just so happen to be on Plundan, the largest flotilla in the world, during the 6th Septennial Doomspell Tournament, where the best fighters in the world gather to show their strength. If you really mean to make a grab for the captain tonight, then, well, not much point to secrecy anymore, is there?
There is one thing, though.
Mhm.
Do the brethren know that the captain is up to something? Or would it just look like one of his fighters are just going after him?
They don't know yet. That's the problem. They're spooked. The moment Brother Scorpio didn't show up to the meeting, they knew something was wrong. And seeing as he still hasn't turned up, and he kind of gives a bit of a guilty look, and you know that he's probably had to answer questions to the brethren and hide that he is helping keep Brother Scorpio prisoner. The
It's not
captain's...
like he could do anything.
He kind of quirks an eyebrow and looks to you, Greylog. Beg pardon?
Well, it's not like you could, like, because, well, I was saying that more out of character, because you were saying that he looked guilty.
Mm-hmm.
But an idea does come to me of what we could have some of the pirate brethren do. If they could get, like, if Nytro could, while the captain's busy, take the others to that room, show them what's going on, and then convince them to restrain them so they can't move to answer the captain's call if he calls for their aid. Then that would make it easier.
That's not a bad idea, Mr. Orchin. And he kind of strokes his chin at thought.
It keeps their own safe. That.
At the very least, get some of the more fighting inclined ones.
He kind of sighs and he ponders for a long moment before, all right, I'll do it. And the crowd gives a cheer, although it seems to be more directed at Tamachwa's posing.
Oh, so what exactly did Jer say?
He was basically pointing out that if the pirates if they're basically too spooked to be convinced to fight, it might be easier to convince them to just restrain the fighters that the captain has already taken control of, which means that he can't use them as foot soldiers when you make your go for him. Basically, use the pirates to minimize the amount of resistance you get, making it to where it is just a 5v1 against the captain.
What if...
Okay, so just so Amanda is clear, what we're gonna like fight as normal, or like what plan are we going with?
I think
So-
we're
Like,
still
I'm
discussing
still
it.
very unclear.
Okay, so, well, yeah, so here, I'll do a quick review just so nobody's lost. Assuming that you guys are good with every aspect of the plan that's been proposed, the current plan is surrender whenever the Swarm Storm fights you. That is as poor of a performance as you can feasibly give, which means, by the rules, the captain will likely select you to be the loser, and thus the next one he targets. And while that's happening, Nytro is going to spread the word to the rest of the fighters and to the brethren. Have the brethren go to the secret room and restrain the losers of the previous rounds so that they can't get to the captain when he calls for help, and call the other fighters to help you guys deal with whoever he has buried in the walls and floors, basically in case he has any surprise ambushes ready. And with all of those I's dotted and T's crossed, that means all you guys have to worry about is not getting brainwashed yourselves and beating the captain in a 5v1 fight.
good as a plan as we can get.
Well, I'm not really a tactician, but I guess it sounds good.
Oh.
Besides, I
Nitro,
haven't
Nitro knows the captain well if he thinks we can pull it off, so I guess it's worth
and I
a
do
try.
have a few secret weapons.
Aye.
Remember that dynamite I took from the what were those guys?
Oh, the
called?
Booter
The Booter Gang. I still have their dynamite.
Yeah, what were the main bad guys?
What, are you gonna blow this place up? That would be unfortunate.
No, but I could throw one stick at a time at the captain.
Nytro kind of gives a smirk and certainly effective, just as long as you're not fighting in the engine room.
Nitro,
Aye.
do you think were there any of those magic crystals from that one round left?
Plenty. A lot of fighters didn't bother using them. Why?
Oh, maybe we could fashion some explosive arrows using some dynamite and one of those fire magic crystals.
He kind of thinks for a moment and slowly gives a nod. I think that can work. Once we finish up here, I'll take you and Mr. Orchin to the smithy and see if we can get it done.
Also,
Hey,
okay. Also, I think I kind of made a promise through a messenger to him that I would let him know more of the situation whenever I could. So maybe you might want to let that Ares guy know, because I kind of promised it to him.
That was the plan. The brethren aren't... I trust the brethren not to make a move until they're sure it's safe. So I'm going to tell them first and spread word among the fighters before the round starts. And, well, if any of them go to the captain, with any luck, the pirates and thieves in the audience will see the captain attack you first and might feel like there's strength in numbers.
Alright. It's a good.
All right.
for
And
now,
he-
you need a rest.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you guys do whatever you're gonna do. I'm go take a nap.
What happened to you?
Guy was super annoying, so
Should take a punch
So his resting state.
yeah, he was just being really rude and
I'm
like
sorry, was short tempered.
I just really hate him. I'm sorry.
Well, who knows? He
That
might
is
be in
one
the trouble
thing.
by the
Who-
captain right now. He may not
Who do
even
you-
be acting like his normal self.
That is another thing. Do you think the
I'm
champion would
too
side
tired.
with the
I'm
captain?
gonna go.
At this, Nytro actually kind of tilts his head, and to be honest, I'm not certain. I don't know how much he knows. I've never seen him helping the captain with any of this, but him and the captain are close friends, that much I know.
So it seems likely he would side with the captain, even if he knew what was going on.
It's possible. Think I should keep him out of it?
Maybe.
Definitely.
He
If
might
you
need
can.
one of the people that needs to be tied up in the end.
I'll spread the word.
And magically restrained. Elves can teleport.
Beg pardon?
He said magical.
He
Basically,
needs to be magic. Restrain him with magic if y'all can. But he can't misty step out of it.
Can all elves do that?
Yeah,
I'll spread the word.
Yeah, because the Vaven doesn't have Misty Step.
Well, it's not
Should.
okay. I don't think it's all elves. Like it's, because I don't know if dark elves have it.
Well, better to be prepared for something that he doesn't have than not.
All right. I'll let the brethren know to take out the champion and restrain the fighters in the locker room. I'll spread word to the fighters to be ready to jump in if the captain makes a go for you.
Yeah, they don't got Misty Step. They have other type of magic.
I guess we could see if the captain would want to give up peacefully, which I doubt he would, but it would at least not make us look like the aggressors.
He gives you a
I'm
I'm still
smile.
gonna-
Reveal
I'm
his
still
plan
gonna
to
drop my
everybody.
bait tip.
Yeah, I mean, if we're in the middle of the fight, just do it. And if you can't do it, I'll do it. Love to do it.
Which whenever we come to the moment, we just reveal his plan, you know, give him the whole spiel of give up now, and then whenever he doesn't give up. deal with it.
All right.
I think I might let our opponent know what's going to happen so he doesn't get any wrong ideas.
If you're sure he can be trusted.
I wouldn't trust him long term, but I think we could make it to at least his fight.
And
Maybe he can put onto his map.
Well, his captain already knows something is up. I kind of told him to, if he lost, someone from their ship needed to collect him instead of the captain.
I'm sure that Ares would really love to know what's going on.
I plan to tell him.
But I mean, either way, he's gonna find out. Just saying, it might be like a good like secondary option.
As I said, I plan to tell them everything. Speaking of. And he turns his gaze to you, Paul. Paul, is there anything you can do for my brother?
I mean, the problem is, well, I would love to see about us doing this, like, simply get to him right now, I mean, but, with the crowd and the champion here, it's kind of difficult.
I ask because I'm gonna be frank with all of you. There's a chance, not a small one, that the moment I tell the brethren what's going on and that I was complicit in it, that they might have me killed. And I want you to make me a promise. Whatever happens to me, you'll protect my brother.
Hell, one better. I'll fight your body afterwards, and then I'll revive you myself, and you can take care of your brother yourself.
He kind of gives us...
Can your spell... How light can your spell work?
Up to a minute. But if worst comes to
You know these
worst,
are pirates, right? They're probably... If they do kill someone, they probably throw them in the ocean afterwards.
Or strap me to the bottom of the ship. Or hang me and let me experience the short drop and sudden stop. He puts a hand on your shoulder, Greylog, and thanks, lad. And he turns to look at you again, Paul, and promise me. You're a man of your oaths, aren't you? Swear an oath.
I mean, well, I may not have the power of the oath. Who knows? I do hope I do still, but I do still follow my oath if I can. I promise you that I will, if it does come down to it, I will look after your brother.
At this, he breathes a sigh of relief, and that's that then. And you all realize with some kind of bone chill that he has basically accepted that it's very likely he's going to die tonight.
Raven's just like, I mean, surely in revealing the thing is worth something.
Traitors aren't easily forgiven among our kind, lad.
Oh, maybe. No, I mean, maybe it could be brought down to banishment instead of execution.
The trial. That's what y'all have the
These are
brother
pirates.
for.
I doubt they have formal trials.
Yeah, you'd be
That's
surprised.
what the pirates for. Is for trial their own kind.
Are there
Indeed.
pirate trials?
In a sense,
Well,
as long as my brother is safe, I'm prepared to meet whatever fate has in store for me. The gods will decide what becomes of me tonight.
yeah.
Not the captain. Just luck.
Well, we shall see what happens. But first, seems we need to make sure. Well, some of us need a rest, and some of us need to prepare.
Oh, we're wondering if it might be possible if we could say that for some reason I was not able to attend the fight. And then maybe I can sneak my way in to do something if things aren't going perfectly. Like if some of the others get mind controlled, maybe I could attempt to dispel it.
He kind of thinks for a moment, and I know the captain has to be there to mind control. He can maintain it from however far he likes, but he has to be in front of the person to get their control. As long as the captain's at the fight tonight, we'll know the brethren are safe.
I mean, if one of the party gets mind controlled.
He kind of thinks for a moment, and you do what you think is best, Mr. Oglatha. But I'd recommend sticking by your mates. They're the ones who are going to get you out of the jam.
I mean, I'm still going to be here, just not exactly where he's looking. But I guess I'll just go with it. If it's not possible.
It's certainly possible, but the decision is yours. I'm the first mate. I'm not the one who makes the decisions here. You're the one saving my skin. The lives of everyone on the ships are in your hands. Dr. Koo, you're dismissed to the locker room. Get some rest. Mr. Oglatha, Mr. Orchin, I'll take you to the smithy, see if we can't put together some of these arrows. And he looks to Paul and the twins. What are you planning?
Just prepare for a fight.
Yep, do what we do best. Attack.
Maybe you belong here after all. Might be a place for you and the brethren once all's said and done. I may be a traitor, but there may be a reward in pocket for the outsiders who saved our skins. In case I don't see any of you again, well, thanks.
If we got the opportunity, if this all works, we will certainly at least try to make a case for you.
Metro, I have one more question.
Aye?
You can breathe while I breathe underwater. Swim, correct?
Sorry lad, my hearing's not what it used to be. Not to mention these Damn cheers.
I like how you try to play it off now.
Can you breathe underwater? And can you swim?
Swim I can do. Breathe underwater I cannot.
Yeah, he's not a merman.
I might be able to help with that.
If I was to get you into the water after you're done talking to the brethren, would you be willing to take the risk?
He gives a shrug, and I'm already taking plenty of risks, lad. What's one more?
I want to
What
pass
are
in
you
one of my.
suggesting?
I want to pass in one of the arrows of the teleportation arrows.
He kind
Fire
of
this
twirls
into
it.
the water, and it will automatically teleport you to where the arrow lands. It'll give you a way to escape if they do try to execute you.
Thanks, lad. He stows the arrow in his coat and waves over his shoulder to you and Avaben. Alright, come on now. Enough of worrying about me.
It's work.
With that, you all part ways. Asari, heading to the locker room. You will not have time to get a long rest, but you do get a short rest.
Although you can use your hit die.
I don't think you can use my hit die.
Yeah, people forget about that thing.
Avaben, you and Greylog can work out between the two of you. Either both of you can roll to attempt to make some explosive arrows in the smithy, or one of you can roll with advantage, whatever you prefer.
Well, what if I have an advantage anyways because of my proficiencies?
That's not-
Proficiency does give you
yeah.
advantage, just makes your numbers higher.
Yeah, but it's-
If he's got the proficiencies, then we'll let him do it.
Alright, Greylog, since you're making crystalline arrows, it's admittedly...
With dynamite tied to them.
Yeah, with dynamite tied to them. I'll let you make a smith's. I tell you, make me a tinker tools check. Yeah, with advantage since Avaben's helping you.
Can you roll that for me?
Okay, I guess I can roll it.
Oh no, they were asking Amanda.
Oh.
Well, no, Matthew, because Amanda's looking at something.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, yeah, I'll do it.
Distractions.
16. All right. How many sticks of dynamite do you have?
15, if I remember correctly.
And how many are you willing to invest into this?
Oh,
Okay.
this
Close
is
to
all
Verus galore.
nothing. Sort of bites.
On your own, you would have gotten a 16, but Avaben's presence turned it into a natural 20.
Nice!
Paul, girls, what are the two of you doing?
Plus, I have advantage against being charmed.
yeah. Well, like he said, he's gonna prepare for a fight. Yeah, I'm gonna look at my spells here.
So yeah, just anything noteworthy that you're doing?
Probably just kind of go with Asari and to the room and just kind of like think for a moment, just about what he needs to do for this fight.
All right, twins. All right, we'll come back to you. Asari, you and Paul return to the locker room, and you watch as the rest of the minor league fighters are, for their part, largely unconcerned. While of course there are rumors of disappearances, to them they are still just that, rumors. And it's odd seeing others in the locker room so calm when all of you know what you're facing tonight and that these people's lives hang in the balance. Asari, you tuck in for what nap you can squeeze in before marching to battle. And Paul, on the top bunk, you sharpening your blade and readying your spells, just contemplate your options. You form battle strategies. Anything you can think of, any scrap of information you know of the captain that might give you an edge, as your resistance to the captain's main ability may make all the difference in this coming battle. Interestingly, you both notice the Swarm Storm is not here. Avaben, Greylog, you were taken by Nytro to the smithy that you had worked in the, I believe, second round. And Greylog, you just start a relatively simple process of strapping dynamite to the fire dust and strapping them to arrows. And Avaben, you watch as he does it the first couple times, and with not but a word, Greylog, Avaben sits across from you and starts doing the same. And between the two of you, you manage to pretty much expertly craft 15 improvised explosive arrows, combining the effects of fire mana and dynamite, all on a arrowhead that hopefully the impact will ignite the fire, which will consume the dynamite and ignite the gunpowder and create a twofold blast. Twins, have you returned?
Yes.
All right. What are you doing?
I guess just going to practice my swings.
All right. Any preference on where you're doing that?
Preferably in an open space.
Okay.
We do it in Arena 1.
Flower and Fall, you watch as Paul and Asari leave to the locker room to rest and prepare, and Nytro takes Avaben and Greylog to the smithy to prepare weapons. And you, with your tiny Derringer pistol in hand, you and your sister begin to practice your fighting, knowing that you're about to go up against a very tough opponent who, unlike the ones you've been fighting, will not hesitate, most likely, to kill you. And worse, may find a way to turn you against your allies. And as you and your sister are practicing, your blades clash before it's interrupted by a bronze spear cutting up between the two of your blades. And you see Tamatwa twirl his spear over his shoulder, and he kind of looks around and... Where'd the rest of your little litter go? Do you have to step away again?
No, sorry. She just looks up to him just like, I guess they're practicing somewhere else.
He kind of gives a bit of a smirk and, sorry about having to give a beatdown to the archaeologist. But, can't have anybody disrespecting all this. And he flexes and kisses his biceps.
I mean, don't worry. I'm sure she won't try it again.
Let's hope that doctorate gave her something of a pattern recognition, eh?
So are you here to practice?
Damn right I am. And he flexes, kind of doing that I don't know what the name of it is, but that Greek Olympic athlete pose. And of course the crowd goes buck wild. And Fall, you notice as you kind of peek over his shoulder that a girl pirate in the crowd actually is so overtaken, her face beat red, that you can actually see her crack her teeth from clenching her jaw so hard. They just can't get enough of me. So you and your litter of puppies find what you were looking for?
Think so.
Well, Tamatwa is curious. What was here in Arena 1 besides my glorious self? And he's like flexing the whole time. That you were so eager to get your peepers on.
It's prime strategy. Prime strategy for our fight.
Getting the lay of the land.
Yep.
I can respect that. Hope you don't think I'm gonna go down easy.
No, I think we'll have a great fight.
Make a deception check.
1 second. I gotta pull out a dice. 16.
At this, he actually kind of pauses, and he kind of stares at you for a moment, and he turns away from you and opens his arm, and again, crowd goes ape, and Tamatwa thinks he's gonna take his training regiment to a less populated arena. I think I'm gonna go take a swim in Arena 2. And the crowd just starts going wild and immediately starts funneling out of the arena to get to Arena 2. And for those who linger, he turns back to you and twirls his spear and holds it out to you. And the rest of you, I think, should get out of here. Tamatwa's got to do some pest control. And again, cheers, and you can hear what appears to be a small accented male voice call out, "We love you, Tamatwa!" As everyone is either dragged out by their smarter friends or leaves to get prime front row seating to getting to see him swim. And the moment the two of you are alone in the arena, he drops the act completely. You know something, don't you?
Well, if I do, how, are you just gonna try to beat it out of me?
You can see he actually kind of thinks for a moment. I certainly could. Got a lot of, truck-like muscle fibers here. And he kind of gives a brief flex, but after a bit of consideration, leans against the spear, almost casually. But I don't think I'm gonna need to. I think you're gonna tell me.
Okay. So what's in it for me?
He doesn't answer for a moment. But then, when he speaks up again, he doesn't answer your question, instead posing one of his own. I hear you've been looking into the wonders of Plundan. Found anything yet?
Maybe.
He kind of gives a smirk and... They say my room's haunted. He kind of looks around and... Tell you what, I'll answer you that one for free. And you tell me what you found. We'll be like a little detective agency, like your little samurai friends.
Sure.
Sound like a plan, little girl?
Sounds like a good deal.
And you actually know with surprise that he referred to you in the singular. He's either paid enough attention or done the research to discover that you're a twin mind. My room's right next to the captain's quarters. His voice, with how loud he is, drifts through the walls and comes out on my end. All the people flocking outside my doors waiting for autographs hear it and think that it's ghosts. But if my room is haunted, they're getting quite the gun show, if I do say so myself. Now, how about you? What have you found?
Okay, so... Sorry, I'm gonna need a brief relay of... Like, it all leads to the people being under Plundan, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. We found out about the haunted bathrooms, right? Like leads underground and stuff.
You haven't discovered it yourself, but yeah, you do suspect that, like you guys have outright pointed out that you suspect that rumor just started because of fighters figuring out that you can sneak through the plumbing to get to the other locker rooms in the night.
Mm. Damn, I don't remember what I personally found out, other than like them actually being under the ground.
If you want, you can make a history check.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to make a history check. I'm a
Yeah,
fool.
roll history. No worries.
1 second. There it is. Okay. Ooh. Oof. 17.
You have a fairly good recollection. You have discovered the rumor that there is a staircase to nowhere, or rather a balcony that no one can access, of course leads to the hidden locker room where Nytro has been storing the captain's victims. The idea that people are buried in the walls and floors of Plundan is just flat out true. Nytro disappears for long lengths of time because he's skulking around the ship searching for his brother, and the captain's longevity, you are all beginning to suspect that he's doing something to his victims that's prolonging his lifespan. And you know that the glow that comes under the arena doors when an arena is locked for the night is the captain brainwashing fighters.
So, have you ever broken the rules and gone out at night?
He kind of gives a bit of a smirk and once or twice, mostly just to get a midnight snack.
Have you ever seen a light out there?
Lights under the arenas. Aye. Nytro says it's him doing repair work.
What if it was something else?
He kind of leans forward a little bit and gives a smirk. I knew you knew something, little pixies. Alright, my flies on the wall. What have you seen?
Well, first, I need to ask you a very important question.
Ask away, anything for a fan.
What are your thoughts on the people who work on Plundan?
The crew?
The crew, the captain, everyone.
He kind of gives a bit of a shrug and... Crew's nice enough. I live here, between tournaments. They tend to everything I need. A lot of them are fans of mine. Captain's a good friend of mine, although I've always wanted to fight the man myself. Here he used to be quite a legend, but I've never seen it. I want him to prove it. But he turns me down every time I ask. Magician never reveals his secrets and all that.
True. But don't you think he could trust you at this point?
He kind of gives a bit of a smirk and, it's been almost 100 years. If it wasn't for the fact that he flies the black flag, I'd wonder if he trusts anyone. Seems to certainly trust Mr. Nytro.
True. Well, let's just say whatever's under there is related to people going missing. I'm sure you've heard.
Ah, here Brother Scorpio's the most recent take. Everyone assumed the other fighters were just leaving, too scared to face me. But Brother Scorpio, that's different. He's got business here. And he kind of tilts his head to the side and actually poses a question to you now. What about you, little flies on the wall? How'd you get the captain to sponsor you? He never told me when I asked him. Just said that he saw something special in you. I've been trying to figure it out, and I just can't wrap my head around it.
I guess that would be a good question, because we came in late, and he seemed like he just wanted us to be in it, for some reason. Got rid of one of the teams in the lower ranks and let us in. Really wants to make it special and all that.
That he does. So what's special about you exactly? I'm stronger than you and all your friends put together.
I think it's because we can strategize pretty well, synergize, make things cool, up-and-comers, underdog.
Captain always did love a good underdog. Alright, underdog. And he kind of scans you for a long, kind of uncomfortable moment before jerking his head. Thanks for answering my questions, little girls. And
Thanks for answering mine.
He pulls out a scroll of parchment and kind of scribbles on it for a moment and hands you his autograph.
Thanks, I'll treasure it always.
Keep it on your bedside table. And he kind of gives you a very kind of showman's wink and a wide, kind of almost goofy wrestler's grin. And just remember, if you ever find yourself in trouble, remember my motto. And he kind of poses, almost like he's expecting you to just know it already.
Sorry, we've been pretty busy with our tournament.
Well, if I have to explain the obvious... And he puts his fist together. No pain, no gain.
That's fair. I should have seen that coming.
You like it? Came up with it myself.
I mean, it is true. How are you gonna get anything if you don't put anything out?
You're damn right, little flies. You're damn right. And he swirls the spear of Ares over his shoulder before starting to walk away from you, and I'm gonna go give the people what they want. This is a democracy, after all. I reckon I'll be seeing you at the championship.
Probably.
And with that, he leaves the arena, and you and your sister are left to train in peace.
Anyways.
Flower and Fall, you train. Of Aben and Greylog, you craft. Paul and Asara, you prepare. One by one, as your errands complete.
I have one other thing I wanted to try and craft, if that's okay.
Depending on what it is, what do you want to try and get?
Well, since we're in that area anyway, he wants to look through some of the other crystals. Were there any others that could cause teleportation as well, other than the arrow?
Not that you found. And bear in mind, the arrows weren't even from that round. They were from the first round.
Or, I know there was one that could hold the item. Like a vortex or something, right?
Yeah, there were purple ones that could manipulate gravity.
Can he make some arrows using that as well for adamant?
Do you have enough arrows to do so?
I'm not sure. Like, I got a few hours. Could he make me some arrows?
You can try.
If there aren't any laying around?
Well, there's certainly not any laying around.
I guess I'll try.
Okay.
Who knows? It could come in handy.
Avaben, are you willing to help? Or do you already have what you want?
What is he wanting to do?
He's going to try and make new arrows from scratch and then craft those into gravity arrows.
Okay, do I need to provide some of my arrows?
You can if you want. It would be able to skip that step at least.
I mean, like, do I have to do that, or does he have arrows?
Well, yeah,
No,
basically that's the problem. He doesn't have any more arrows because he used all of his up to make the explosives. So basically, he's either gonna have to make some from scratch, or you can give him some of yours if you're willing.
Can I help him make some from scratch? You know what
Yeah,
they say: give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, he will eat forever.
All right.
How does that
Greylock-
saying go?
I believe that's correct. Yeah, I believe it's something like give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, and he'll eat for life. All right,
Yeah.
Greylock, make a survival check at advantage. Do I need to roll?
Yeah, I need you to roll.
Avaben, you watch as Greylog, you seem to have gotten through everything, and with a few hours to spare, but you kind of watch in curiosity as Greylog seems unsatisfied. He grabs one of the purple crystals from the barrel and starts kind of searching the room, and then eventually settles on carving. And it takes you a moment before you realize what he's doing. He's attempting to make an arrow, and you recall your people's techniques because of their unwillingness to disrespect the plant life. They don't make their arrows out of wood. They will either make them out of stone or out of glass. So you simply take the crystal from Greylog and kind of showing him how they do it in Sherwood. Instead of making an arrowhead out of it, you simply start carving a crystal into an arrow. And this process takes significantly longer than just tying dynamite and crystals to the head of an existing arrow. But by the end of it, Avaven, your hands are a little sore and calloused, but you hand over the finished product. Greylog, you have one functional gravity arrow.
Well, go ahead and back to Ivan. You're the better shot than I am. Make it count. It's hard to fight if you can't move.
Okay.
Use it on the captain if things start to go south. If you can break his concentration.
Something if things are about to go south?
Basically, he's telling you shoot it at the captain if things start to go south because you're the better shot.
Okay, what does the gravity thing do?
You don't know, but the only use you've seen of it is that guy's staff that could attach things to itself through gravity manipulation.
Wait, it's just like, so what am I supposed to do with these?
If you're shooting with it, it might cause him to either not be able to move, or it'll cause him to start losing gravity and go upwards. Or who knows, he might become lightweight and fall can hit him off the side of the ship. So I don't know. But I'd rather have something unexpected in our arsenal, you know?
Okay.
All right. Avaben, in addition to the 15 explosives, you now have one gravity arrow.
Got it.
With the last of your errands done, the two of you realize that it's starting to get late and start making your way back to the locker room. Flower and Fall, after a day of training, you do the same. You all make your way back to the minor league locker room and see Asari just starting to stir from a nap, and Paul just kind of sitting meditatively on the top bunk. As you all regroup in the locker room and other minor league fighters start to return. You can see the bomb squad kind of sends you guys some somewhat knowing looks, but the rest of the fighters seem relatively at ease. This fight not provoking quite as much paranoia as the previous round, although you can see there's still a few sore spots after you guys' actions from the last round. And nobody speaks to you, at least at first. After being absent for the vast majority of the day, the swarm storm returns. But to your surprise, the energetic boy just sits in the locker room and just kind of looks around quietly. Doesn't say anything, just quiet.
Can
I go over
is there
to-
something wrong?
All right, Greylog, Avaben, as the two of you are readying your equipment, you see this, and the two of you enter. And Avaben, as you ask your question, the Swarmstorm kind of looks up through his mask and goggles, and no, I'm all right. I'm excited, honestly. You see, we're gonna get to fight tonight.
Yeah. You just seem different.
Oh, yeah, just some work stuff. Don't worry about it. And he puts his
Does
hands
your
together.
captain tell you something?
Yeah, he talked to me a little bit.
About what might happen if you, in the off chance, weren't in the competition.
Yeah. He said he's actually gonna be here to pick me up. I think he's mad at me about something.
He's not mad at you. I sent him a message because of all these disappearances.
And you see he's quiet for a moment before you can see from the kind of slight widening of the mouth part of his mask that it seems like something has set in, and he leans forward and says quietly to the two of you, "You think I'm next?"
It seems to be happening to anyone who gets eliminated. I was concerned, but I don't think it's going to be much of a concern now. They looks to Greylog quietly says, "Do you think we should tell him?"
Yeah. Probably what I was going to do. Pretty much, Storm.
Part of a plan to deal with because of the disappearances, we have a plan to deal with it, and that's going to involve, we're going to let you win.
What? What? No. You can't do that. It's against the rules.
Or is it real? It is not said that is against the rules. If you read the contract, never did they say you can forfeit.
And the idea is that if we forfeit, we'll almost certainly be eliminated, and that'll let us get to the bottom of this.
But what if you guys get, abducted or whatever?
We've
There's a
thought
plan
this
in
through
place.
fucking hard.
We have a
We know
plan
the
in
risk.
place, and the Nytro will probably wind up filling you in.
He his hands start to kind of twitch nervously as he looks around, and you guys can't just you can't. And
Does
for
it
the
upset
for the
you?
for the first time since you've met the Swarmstorm, he seems to be genuinely at a complete loss for words. And in response to you, Avaben, he kind of puts his hands behind his back and kind of kicks his feet nervously. And I don't want you guys to get hurt. You guys are great. You've been.
The idea is we believe the Captain of Plundan is the one making people disappear, and we plan to confront him whenever he tries to make us disappear.
You're gonna take on the Captain. He's a. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, Mr. Five. He's a tough motherfucker. He was trained by the Dervish.
Oh, I have no doubt that he is tough, but something has to be done. let's just say what's happening to the disappeared people is not great. Something has to be done, and your captain is gonna... Nitro's going to tell everybody and your captain, and all of the brethren about this.
What about me? I want to help.
You'll have your chance. He may try to ambush us with something, and we plan that the other fighters, including you, can help keep anything he throws at us busy while we deal with him.
That does seem to placate him for a bit.
Now,
And
don't go talking too early about it, okay? We want we want to deal with the captain on our terms, not his.
he does a zip of his lips and kind of stands there silent and awkward for a moment before launching off of the bench.
Like I said, Nitro's going to come through later, and he's going to explain to the others everything.
And as you're saying this, he launches off of the bench, and you realize he's wrapping you in a tight, desperate hug.
Well, that was unexpected. We will just kind of awkwardly pat him.
Sorry, I just... he gets off of you and kind of pats your shoulders awkwardly, and just...
It's fine. It's fine.
Be careful.
Also, in case you're wondering, the person that I wound up having to tell about this was none other than the captain's kid.
At this, he actually kind of tilts his head, and how'd you find him?
Another thing you're gonna have to not tell.
He, again, zip of the lips.
Apparently he snuck out.
Yeah, that sounds like him.
And he dragged that dark-haired kid with him.
Oh, Mr. Joseph!
Is that his name?
Yeah, well, Mister's not his first name. I think Joseph is his first name.
You think?
I mean, I like, he's... It'd be rude. I'm just a powder monkey. I'm not supposed to be on first-name basis with the people in the higher ranks, you know?
From what I understand, human kids tend to congregate.
That's right.
So I assume you talk to them.
Well, yeah, I talk to them, but it's mostly important stuff, like, oh, where's the gunpowder, and what have you been up to, and oh, are you seeing anyone? Important business stuff.
Business, sure.
Anyway,
I was really hoping to have found anybody else, but apparently they've all ran to their ships.
Everyone's in hiding since Brother Scorpio disappeared.
Yeah. A little bit surprising that they would go after someone so high profile. Seems to blow everything wide open.
If he's going after the brethren, then if it really is the captain, then he's confident. He thinks he can get away with it.
Oh, we're gonna try to make sure he doesn't.
He
Let
kind
the
of...
pirates keep kicking along for however much longer you last.
He kind of nods and nervously steeples his fingers, and... Alright, but... After this is over, if you guys don't die, I want to fight you guys. For real, for real. I was really looking forward to tonight.
We'll see what we can do.
Am I muted?
Yes.
What did he say?
He was asking if he had been muted, so I was just... Yes.
Pretty much. Yes. I, for one, will give you a fight to remember.
I heard something about fights.
I was saying I will give you a fight to remember.
Okay.
You better, Mr. Greylog. You better. Sorry, Mr. Five.
Haven't I told you already that our names are not 5?
Well, yeah, but it's like code names.
You know, Code names aren't very effective if everybody has the same code name, because then how do you tell them apart?
Well, it's not my fault you guys decided to all have the same name.
You didn't know there's a difference between a team name and an individual name, right?
He kind of squirms uncomfortably and just, well, yeah, but you know, like you guys don't have any like I mean, I know the captain gave you some, but I think Divine 5 sounds much better than the Butler of Brutality.
How about our actual names?
Yeah, we're friends, aren't we?
We are?
Yeah.
I mean, I did just trust you with something very important.
And I'll make sure I take care of it, Mr. Avaben.
That's much better. See, it's a lot easier whenever you have individual names instead of just one name.
By the way, what is your actual name? I don't want to have to keep referring to you as Swarm Student.
He kind of gives a smile and kicks his feet kind of shyly and Benny Parks.
Okay. Yes. I look forward to our fight later on, Benny.
My friends just call me Ben.
And it is.
I promise when all of this is over, we'll give you that fight.
You better. And he kind of pauses and sits down really abruptly and looks up to you guys. Here he comes.
Hey, we're ready.
I'm guessing we're gonna end soon.
Yes.
Enjoy your victory. Even if it's not like a victory, you'll get your actual fight later.
I'm not gonna enjoy this on my life. I'll wait for the real one. And he kind of pauses for a moment, and he starts looking like he's gonna start asking more questions before the door is swung open, and Nytro enters. Divine 5, Storm, you're up first. Yes, sir, Mr. Nytro. As you all filter out of the locker room, Nytro walks you about halfway down the hall before sighing and stopping. You all know where to go from here. And turns on his heel, and Ben is the first one to pipe up. Wait! You're supposed to walk us all the way to the arena, aren't you? Nytro kind of looks over his shoulder to him, and then looks to all of you guys gathered. How much does he know?
He knows pretty much everything.
Yeah, I had to kind of tell him everything,
He kind of gives a bit of a smirk, and
so he wouldn't feel as bad.
Ben kind of looks between Nytro and all of you in confusion, and Nytro waves to get his attention. I need to inform the minor league and major league what's happening. And I'm going to be telling your captain and his mates before the meeting gathers. I've told them to gather up early. Said that the captain has an important message. But it's you giving the message, right? Yeah, yes, lad. That's the idea. And he looks over all of you.
Nytro is secretly planning on betraying us and has been working against us this whole time.
All right, well, you be careful, Mr. Nytro. You as
You
well.
still got that arrow I gave you, right?
Aye. He pulls it from his coat and gives it a twirl. Oh, I recognize that! That's one of the teleporting arrows from the Crusades.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nytro is worried that your captain and some of the brethren might not be pleased.
I mean, what's there to be upset about? I mean, you've just been, abducting people, and were totally going to go after me next if I lost tonight, and, absolutely were planning to sabotage the Brethren. What's there to be upset about? And he kind of... Nytro doesn't even answer him, just kind of stares at him and lets the silence hang. Whatever they decide, they decide. Good luck.
Maybe revealing everything will count for something.
Keep me in your prayers, lads. And with that, he turns and leaves you all to walk to the arenas alone. The Swarm Storm kind of nervously hops from side to side, and it's unusually quiet before eventually you make it to the first arena door and he stops and, well, this here's mine. Good luck, you guys. Not for this fight, to be clear. I mean, good luck for whatever you guys are doing after, because, it's... You get it.
Yeah.
Hello.
I guess the story is we didn't want to fight a kid.
He kind of grumbles to himself a little bit. I'm not a kid.
Look, when you consider how long my species lives for, you're practically an infant.
I am not!
We wanted to fight you on better terms.
You guys say whatever you need to say. It's fine. Just be careful.
Don't take it personally, kid.
You can see him kind of, like, twitch a little bit.
David's got, like, a smile on his face.
I'll show you a kid whenever I knock your fucking lights out. Kid.
Guess we'll see.
Kid. He grumbles to himself, but... and sorry, you kind of pat him on the head, and to your surprise, he actually kind of leans into your hand, and... Good luck, you guys. I'll be right behind you. Metaphorically, and maybe literally, depending on how things go. You said Mr. Nytro would explain.
Too?
I want to help.
Well, if you want to help, you can see you at Nytro. See if Nytro thinks you can help. I'm sure you'll help in some way.
Yes, sir, Mr. Vaben.
Alright, let's do this. Let's go ruin these people's day.
You all make your way towards the arena, and as the crowd...
I was going to say, I like to say, let's not go ruin the day, let's go and make history.
By setting the record for the most number of people disappointed by something.
Well, this is just the first step of history.
Well, I guess if there's anybody left around, they'll get a show of us fighting the captain. Hopefully not a show of us being destroyed by the captain.
A full faith. We'll be fine.
As you all stand before the arena, a Vaven with several new trick arrows up your sleeve, Greylog, hands sore and calloused from a day of crafting, Asari as rested as you're going to get, Paul meditated and at peace, and Twins exhausted from a day of training but ready to make history as you hear the captain's echoed voice begin to overtake the arena. brings the pain and spider rain, the forecaster of fangs, the swarm storm! And the crowd begins to cheer uproariously as you presume Ben takes to the stage. And if he's giving a performance, it's a convincing one, as people begin to cheer as he announces all of you as he had been for all the previous rounds. The Butler of Brutality, the Twin Mind, the Underdark Underdog, the Archaeologist, and the Tamer of Terrors, the Divine Five.
And that's... Oh, shit.
Well, we've talked about this. Don't do that.
I meant to mute.
As you all take to the stage, you see the Swarm Storm standing across from you. He cracks his knuckles and kind of waves his hands, and you stare each other down from different sides of the arena as the captain steps back and prepares to count down. 3, 2, 1, go! And Ben raises his hands and starts to walk towards all of you. What do you guys do?
I surrender. I lose.
Raven's like, yeah, I'm not going to fight a kid.
Paul? Girls?
I also lay down my weapons, put my hands up.
Asari? Asari, twins, Paul, Avaben, and Greylog, you all raise your hands. About half of you lay your weapons down entirely, and you surrender. And for probably one of the first times in these many rounds of the Doomspell tournament, the crowd goes silent. And Imamu speaks up, seeming completely caught off guard. There's almost a minute-long silence.
Sorry, Captain. I just don't feel right beating up on a kid.
Imamu just kind of stares at you with a kind of unreadable expression before the Divine Five forfeit. The Swarm Storm is the winner. The crowd is still silent. And Ben kind of looks around nervously as Imamu, seeming really disappointed, declares you the losers. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session. The trap has been laid, and there's no going back now. If the captain holds true to the rules he's set, you will be kicked from the tournament tonight, and he will most likely make an attempt to get control over your minds and add you to his slowly growing number of soldiers. And between Avaben's resistance, Paul's outright immunity, and the rest of you guys' sheer determination to not fail and protect these pirates, you are going to make an all-or-nothing grab for the artifact you came for. The Pythian Wreath of Apollo, which will get you halfway to unlocking the Divine Doorway.
Yay.
Check out our website at officiald5hub.info. Resurrected from the grave like a filthy necromancer, setting a trap for a deceptive pirate captain. Check out our link in chat to join our official D5 Discord server if you want to hang out with us directly. Support our episodes, posted on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, and the iHeart Podcast Network, wherever you happen to get them from. For our audio listeners, catch us live on Mondays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time on twitch.tv/Odd Tornado Productions and Odd Tornado Productions on YouTube to catch up on what you may have missed. Check out Odd Tornado Productions official on Tumblr to find links to our other works, including our Paladins Twitch channel at twitch.tv/AustinFreak123. If you enjoy what we do, please support us on Patreon at, that link's about to be posted in chat, or on Ko-fi at kofi.com/oddtornadoproductions, and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/tornadoodd. The TNO are capitalized. If you enjoy this party and want to see more of them, plus or minus a few, tune in tomorrow, Tuesdays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time, for our Tuesday game of Black Ink and Blue Blood, featuring a party of politicians and nobles trying to unravel political conspiracy if they can stop stabbing each other in the back long enough. Thanks, everyone at the table, so much for playing. Thanks, everyone at home, so much for watching. And we'll see you all next week.
Man,